Welcome back, everybody, to Wild Adventures, episode... Yes.
Oh, look. I'm with Thackeray now with my stat sheet.
So, you guys last session took Leo, loaded him onto a cart, met a new friend in Remus, the wolf. You also fought a really big nope that, as Kib would probably describe it, a very large nope.
Nope.
In the form of a phase spider. After that, she went for some spiritual cleansing. Meow, yes.
Thanks, I hated it.
Cat.
Meow. There's a cat who's very vocal today.
Yep, that's paradise.
Can I see the bottom of the bowl?
Come here, you little shit.
Let's stay on task, please.
Continue.
Okay. When you got to the temple, Kib went for a bath. Spring met an old deer who knew his father and is a druid and offered to teach him druidcraft someday.
Actually, reminds me, I need to go put that in.
And Lorgans was a nerd.
You're saying this like it's something that's new.
You're a
And
nerd. You were in this cool Fantasyland place, and you're like, I'm gonna look at books.
Remy was left behind.
Because he drank too much Scuzzbrow.
And now he's catching up. Just like the stat block.
Yeah, which is still level 2.
Anyway, enough giving him a shit over it. Let's move on. Let's see.
I'm not giving him any shit. I just told him, I was like, hey, I still need
So-
this.
You guys sleep through the night, and as the sun crests the hills, you hear the sound of a rather large brass bell, which you may have seen while walking in. At the top of the ziggurat was a very large circular bell. It seemed like a large sphere of metal with several geometrically placed holes in it, which is now ringing and sending vibrations through the entirety of the temple complex now that morning has broken. As you
Good
wake
vibrations?
up, you smell the what seems to be some form of incense in the air. There is a light mistiness to the air, and it almost seems like most of the windows in the temple complex are wafting little wisps of this smoke out.
Well, Kib is curious, so he'll struggle his way out of bed and get dressed and go see what all the hubbub's about.
Spring continues to be lazy, puts pillow over his head, and goes back to bed.
I go ahead and start getting everything put together and start getting everything on my own equipment clean.
So, as this happens, a cart comes in with the same kind of authorization papers that got you into the temple complex, with a somewhat hungover looking bear on the back of it.
Did he have to fight? Did he have to fight a phase spider on his way here?
No,
Damn it!
no, he killed the Tarrasque demi-lich on the way here.
Wow.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah. I mean, clearly he could do it. He could take him.
He could vanquish the bar's supply.
He drank it under the table is what he did.
Goodness. So where are we?
So, as you come in, Rowan, what you're seeing is a lot of brick buildings that are covered in bright white plaster. Almost kind of a gritty plaster. Some of them are a little bit older looking, and so they've gone a little bit off-white. You can see areas where the brickwork has been patched back over with fresher kind of spackling, where you see brighter patches on walls. All of the roofs appear to be some kind of reddish-brown tile to around the outside areas of the complex, but in the middle you see that there's some very brightly dyed roof tiles. In the center of the complex is kind of a ziggurat with a large tower on it, which has this big kind of orb-shaped bell that's currently being rung. And as the breeze kind of comes through the streets, you can see the difference between the clear and the somewhat smoky air. Where the smoke is carrying the smell of herbs and flowers that have been dried into incense.
And what part of the map are we on? Like, ping it?
Cliff
Oh,
Temple.
just the Cliff Temple. Gotcha. Do I see my compatriots?
Not at the moment.
Roman's gonna go looking for him then.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, Cable went ahead and was going to find the closest acolyte or whatever and ask them what all the bell is about.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and heading to the perhaps. I'm assuming that each section or quote unquote house has its own facilities, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and head over to the bathhouse area to go ahead and see about getting mending and cleaning done for my garments as well as perhaps myself.
Okay. Both of you roll perception.
Ah,
Both of whom?
perception.
Kib and Thackeray, roll perception.
Roly poly.
Does a 19 perceive?
Yes. What about Lorgam?
That's silly. Hang on. I'm pressing the button. It's taking a moment to load for some reason.
It does that sometimes.
What? Why
Lorgam?
can't
You just continuously keep thinking about that hat back in Wayward.
I'm on autopilot?
Please don't describe what's going on when people roll, though. So, Thackeray is just so transfixed on the fact that he's got spider glick on him. Spider glues him upon his fine garments that he just can't think of anything else, I'm assuming.
Nothing else is on the mind, at least, other than cleaning stuff and the current research project he's planning on.
No thoughts, head empty.
All right,
So-
and what did Kib?
So, what Kib notices is nobody seems to have left their houses yet. The big square in front of the ziggurat is empty, except for a rather large bear.
I wave to him.
Do I see them?
Yes.
You have to roll a perception. I'm too small. I'm too
Alrighty.
tiny.
Rowan will walk over to him and be like, "Sorry, I got a little rowdy after the clearing of the bar."
Oh no, I was right there with you. But I passed out much sooner. It's not often I meet someone that can drink me a cider under the table.
I dare say that I've seen my fair share of alcohol in my days.
But calling the stuff they serve there is calling it alcohol is generous at best.
Well, it's the only thing we got.
Very true. So the others are around here somewhere. Don't know where all the what are they called here? Priests or brothers or whatever?
I assume that's a question for T.
Yeah, it was. Sorry.
They did refer to themselves as priests.
Okay, I don't know where all the priests are, and I don't know what that bell is about.
And what of Leo?
They've taken him to what was it they called it, team? Like a quarantine or something?
I don't think they refer to it as a specific place. They took him in for safekeeping.
He's social
they brought
distancing.
him. They brought him in for safekeeping. He'll be treated here. Apparently he's not the only one who's suffering from those kind of symptoms.
I see. All right. And what of Spring and God, I'm spacing on Lorgan's character's name.
Thackeray.
Thackeray.
Yes, Thackeray.
You
He's
can remember his name because he's quite thick.
Okay.
I'm not thick.
So
You're thick.
and what of Spring and Thackeray?
They're around here somewhere. I haven't seen them this morning. I've only just woken up because of the bell, but can't say for sure where they are right this minute.
Gotcha. So, if what I understand, have we more or less completed the mission set out for us to get them to the temple?
Indeed.
As far as I understand it, yes. Because he will be staying here for the foreseeable future.
Also, T out of character. I assume Rowan would be aware of Tech's situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Tech decided he was going to stay in Wayward Village, and
For the foreseeable future, at least.
yeah, he just wants to continue barding.
Gotcha. Make a name for themselves, as it were.
Make some coin.
Yeah.
Toss a coin to your
Rufus. I don't know.
Bitcher.
Bitcher, yes. Anyways, so Rowan just kind of starts wandering about the temple, if that's the case, wherever he isn't restricted access to.
Meanwhile, Lorgans, you make your way over to the bathhouse, where you see a very, very familiar person, if not creepy, in their black robe with their mask. And they do the same open arm pose when they see you. And they say, "Oh, hello, are you here for your cleansing?"
Actually, it's not myself so much that needs it. I need garments cleaned as well as repaired. Do you have any sort of tools or anything handy for that? I appear to have misplaced any sort of things I can use to mend garments.
Oh,
Like, I don't get dirty per se. As you could see, I actually have systems that assist with that. I'm not biological like the many people here, so I don't suffer those kind of needs like others. However, clothing is another matter. Sometimes it's very difficult to keep those cleaned, and we had a run-in with a rather nasty spider.
the clothier might have some supplies for that. In
But I
terms of washing, we definitely have facilities here.
So would this be the correct area, or do you have a laundry area?
You see, he points toward kind of an arched doorway, and from that direction, you probably smell a really strong kind of lye soap.
He basically lifts his nose and smells it, probably identifying it, and going like, "Yep, not exactly the kind of soap I was thinking of, but that should certainly get the job done." He goes ahead and proceeds in carrying that. He's basically switched into a rather minimalist clothing to go ahead and be able to clean his actual garments.
So, as you walk down the hallway, you see that it's lit with lanterns, and the lanterns appear to have kind of small pieces of glass in the center of them that are glowing. And they're glowing with like a bright white light, but they're like perfectly geometric kind of um, octahedrons that have been
Lovely.
stretched out. And as you slowly go down this hallway, you come out to a wider area where there's just a lot of wooden basins and places to draw water. And you can see in the table in the middle, there's bars of a slightly greenish soap that has a rather strong smell to it. It's a traditionally made soap that is quite strong.
It just says spring on it.
I go ahead and go about getting the proper dilution of it to utilize for clothing and get to work.
Also, I don't know why, but in the back of my head, all I'm thinking is that when Thackeray went to disrobe Myra spring soap. Yes. Now, when Thackeray went to disrobe, all I imagine is that what they're wearing now is the starting Dark Souls garment.
Basically just simple things to quote-unquote preserve decency, or at least perceive decency in different societies.
Perceived decency, yes.
He's just in his femboy Hooters speedo.
Oh my god.
I kind of figured that one.
Of course,
Anyways.
he is going to start that shit. Anyway,
Okay. So, as Rowan and Kib kind of walk around outside the temple, you see somebody in a blue robe clutching a book and walking at a rather quick pace with a somewhat disgruntled looking gait.
Hmm.
Kib is probably. I has Kib is. Bleh.
Bland.
Words are hard, okay?
Clearly.
Is this a familiar kind of expression that Kib would probably have seen with the wizard at town hall when it comes to something important happening and then he needs to get there in a hurry?
I don't think I quite understand the question.
Okay, does this look like someone who is on a goal to get somewhere in a hurry?
Somewhat. Roll insight.
Both
okay.
are just Kib.
Just Kib.
Keeb.
It looks like somebody walking away from something.
Ah, well, clearly that means he's able to be talked to. So Kib will flag him down. Excuse me, uh, sir.
So, as you talk, whoever it is, gets startled, and when you see them turn their head, they've got their hood up, but you see a familiar gray muzzle under the hood, and you can see that it's actually Remus, the
Ah,
priest of knowledge and memory, who you had been traveling with the previous day.
Remus. Hello.
He just very awkwardly waves at you.
Is the bell still going at this time?
No, the bell struck 12 times before stopping.
What was with the bell? It was very loud.
Oh, that's the bell of awakening.
That makes sense, I think. I don't know why I, as a player, tagged on that I think to that, but yeah.
Derp. Well, it woke you up, didn't it?
You are very correct. It did wake him up. Are you okay? You seem to be in a bit of a hurry. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt something?
Roll insight. You've been very perceptive and insightful. Are you sure you are not a paladin? Or
I
a
don't know how
cleric?
I'm doing this. I have zero for insight, for wisdom.
So, Rowan, or not Rowan. Sorry, Remus looks like he's on the almost looks like he's on the verge of tears.
Is something wrong? What happened?
I can't talk about it here.
Okay. Is there somewhere you would like to go to talk about it, or do you just not want to talk about it with me, a complete stranger, which is completely understandable?
He looks like he's like almost struggling in thought with himself for probably a good 8 seconds before he just does a small wave at you and keeps walking, like kind of beckoning you.
Okay. I will follow him because I am that trusting.
Excuse me.
Even though the last time I followed someone this willingly, I ended up getting a very unpleasant path.
So, Rowan would probably, before he follows along after Kib, he'd be looking the way that the person in question had come from.
He had just walked from the large ziggurat in the middle of the temple complex.
Is there anybody there of note or going any direction from there?
There's just guards out front.
Alright. He'd just follow Kib then.
So you get led down the really lavish, very orderly cut stone streets. Down a side street where you see things are looking a little bit more normal, and there's a lot of smaller kind of houses. Each one has banners on it that seem to denote the different arms of the temple's religion. And eventually you come to a corner where there's a somewhat older looking house. It's got some blue banners on the front. And Remus just goes inside and beckons you in.
Well, I will follow him inside.
Yep, Rowan would just keep on keeping behind.
So he kind of moves aside to let you in before closing the door. The inside of his house smells like wood ash, old timber, incense, and a lot of old parchment.
Now that last one, something that Kib is very familiar with.
So he walks toward through these kind of mostly wooden halls. He walks through this kind of tight wooden hall, through an arched doorway into what appears to be kind of a small kitchen dining room. It's got an area that's simple enough to prepare meals, but not extremely lavish. And then there's a table with 3 chairs.
Convenient. No, Kib will indicate to Rowan, like, oh, this is our other travel companion that we left behind because he was rather indisposed. He arrived just this morning, apparently. Rowan, this is Remus. He's the one who escorted us here.
So Remus, you see, put some wood into the open fireplace of the kitchen, and you see him just kind of wave his hand at the fire, or the pile of wood he's created, and it just bursts into flames. And he takes out a kettle and kind of hangs it above the fire before walking back over it and sitting down with the bear, who looks very comically large in this very small house.
Kib also gets into one of the chairs.
And Rowan would say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Remus."
Remus just nods lightly. He seems like he's half thinking and half kind of spacing out, and kind of mulling over what he wants to say.
Rowan kind of just followed Kib, so he's not exactly like, he doesn't really know Remus, so he's just kind of keeping by Kib to, for the most part, look after the party.
So Remus, when he does eventually talk, says, he just looks at the two of you and says, "Do you remember, Kib, do you remember the old man in white yesterday?"
This is, as a player, was that the proctor that he's talking about?
No, that was the man who took Leo off of the party's hands.
Okay, right. Yes, he's the one who brought Leo in further inside, right?
Yeah, he's the head priest. And I've gotten in quite a bit of trouble for continuing my research after being told I shouldn't.
Oh dear.
He says that the sickness is a spiritual one, and that my ideas of a separation between memory and spirit are heretical, and that should I continue this path, I will be excommunicated.
Oh. That's I can't say I fully understand the religion here. I mean, I've not been here long, but and I don't remember what it was like where I'm from either, but I do know that there are some who would consider that a very bad thing. But at the same time, your research it seems very important, not only to you, but to everyone here.
All I really want is to get my memories back, and, well, to put it bluntly, I feel powerless.
I know the feeling very well. Trust me.
I was never taught for combat. I was given enough to stop a bandit in an alley, but I'm not an adventurer.
I mean, clearly neither was I. But I remember bits and pieces that I have to find out the rest of it. I mean, for some reason, I know about ships, but I don't know why I know about them. It's there's something very important that I need to remember. So trust me, I know where you're coming from in this. It's doesn't seem it just doesn't seem right that we lost all of this. Who is especially something that could be very core to our being.
Wherever I went, I came back with something important, and I feel like it could be. It feels life or death, but I can't tell. I couldn't tell you why.
Uh, did he? This is me not being able to remember, but did he mention wanting to go to the Ruin Island last
Yes,
time?
he did.
Okay.
By the way, interjecting real quick because I can.
Okay.
If there's ever any information that you are unsure of, I do still have the VOD up and everything, so you're free to go back and double check that for notes and references if need be.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Because
welcome.
yeah, that was one thing I must have forgotten to put down in my notes.
Yeah, and it's also that's why we keep the stuff as backup. That way, in case T can't remember either, it's always there. It's archived. So,
All right.
anyways,
do you still want to go to the Ruin Island?
Yes, I need protection though, and I don't think I'll be able to get anybody from the temple to escort me.
I can see if I can talk the others into going with us, because I want to go as well.
Your friend here, their clothes are rather strange. I'm assuming they're
He's a
not
recent
from here.
arrival.
Hello. I'm here, you know. You can say hi, Rowan.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We've been having this conversation this whole time. It's like you weren't even there.
Oh gosh. No, yes, the most I remember is that I was of some military demeanor because I certainly have every remembrance of how to fight as a military man.
And though I've never tested it, I know. I think theoretically I know how to sail, but I don't know why I would. So
The entrance to the temple on Ruin Island is barred by what would be the term? A rather large metal bar across the door that is immensely heavy, and I was going to see if I could get one of the guards or somebody, one of the worshippers of the earth, to move it, but I think it's far too heavy for any of us. Spring is the largest one that we're traveling with. I don't
I
think he'd
thought
be able
Rowan
to
would be
do
this.
it.
This
Well,
is
now he
KTP,
sees Rowan T.
but okay, yeah. Well, this one would be coming. Hopefully, hopefully Rowan would. If we can convince the others, would you be willing to join us on this?
I don't really see how anywhere else I can go, so
I find it
Well, you have my
amusing.
thanks, friend.
I find it amusing that Spring is like the biggest one. I'm like, wait, what? Is Spring big? Excuse? Since when?
Of the others, he would
Spring
be.
is the biggest out of everyone.
I thought Thackeray was bigger than Spring.
How tall is Spring?
Uh,
You're 6'1".
I don't think I ever specified my height, did I? Did I?
I don't know. It would
No,
have been on
it's
your
not on
character
your.
sheet if you
It's
put it
not on
there.
your sheet. I'm running under
Technically,
the assumption that Spring is the largest of everybody except for Rowan.
And you don't have to
like,
run on the assumption that Kib is the smallest currently.
I don't
yeah.
think he would that the chassis for his body would have been built particularly small or anything like that, considering it was meant to fulfill multiple purposes.
I would,
Yeah.
I would assume that. I would think Thackeray is either on height with Spring or maybe slightly taller.
Probably slightly taller, maybe approaching Rowan's stature, but not their breadth.
Their girth.
I mean,
That
Rowan is
big,
pretty
thick
There,
thick.
girth.
Girth is fat. When I say breadth, I mean like broad-shouldered, heavy, muscled build, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a gut.
Well, bears do have one, don't they?
God
Usually.
damn it, T. Get
What are you
out.
doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, you
He
little
said,
shit?
in the roll 20 check, he said barrel chested.
God damn it, T. You are literally fucking dad jokes.
Yes, I am.
Let's say perhaps like an inch or so less than Rowan height.
So, Rowan's kind of
Yeah.
getting looked up and down by Remus, who soon gets up, and you see they walk over to the fire and they take the kettle very carefully with a cloth over their hand, and they pour out some cups of tea, just leaf in the cup, and then hot water, like old school style,
Right.
and then brings them and sets them down. And then he looks over Rowan and says, "Are you interested in finding your memories?"
Do I feel as if I need to find a past forgotten?
That's a
He sort of inquires to himself for a second. He's like,
Introspection.
well, yes, I would really like to know what my past held. I don't I don't much think it would change exactly how I didn't approach the coming events. I'm I'm a very simple man. I generally approach things as they come. Well, simple bear. Whatever.
All he needs is the bare necessities.
More or
I'm
less.
sorry. I'm sorry. I had a tea moment.
It's all good. More or less after saying that, shrugging his shoulders a bit, and it being clear that while he is interested in regaining those lost memories, it's very clear that he is a much more in the now person than per se somebody that is lost and or seeking out the past.
Right.
I do hope that with the unlocking of memories that I'll be able to hear people like Leo. This problem's been around
Sound
for
like it would help.
this problem's been around for decades, but it's been speeding up and getting faster and faster, and I fear that I've done the math, and in 20 years, half the people could be mad.
I'm gonna go ahead and interject. I imagine Thackeray's probably getting close to done, if not finished already,
Yes.
and perhaps even gets quickly rinses if necessary before getting dressed.
Meanwhile, what's Spring doing? Is he still laying in bed with a pillow clenched to his head?
Bong!
The bell of awakening has failed. We must replace it with a new one.
He rolled a nat 1 against
Forced
Spring.
cleansing is the way to wake up Spring. Forced cleansing.
Do it.
Spring will shake any motherfucker.
Prepare
that
the clister.
Anyways, no, Spring. By this point, Spring would have already been awoken, or he'd already be awake, and he would be in that like garden area where he was before, and then after having a light meal, he would be back at the shrine, just kind of praying once again.
Okay. Roll a religion check for me there.
Kato, 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 kato. Kato, 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 kato.
Well, this ain't gonna work. It begins.
You ain't wrong.
It begins.
You're about as insightful into the matters of the soul as I'd say a bread box. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks.
The closest that you get to understanding anything spiritual is alcohol.
Yay! I am about as useless as a doornail.
Or
On a
a
side
door
note-
goat.
Hey,
On a
Oh.
side note, T, as Thackeray moves out with the clothing probably still slightly damp, but constantly being adjusted, he probably has steam rising off of him as he heads about his thing, as his body basically goes ahead and starts doing the process to
Okay.
purge
Now,
it.
we did get interrupted mid-conversation, so
I'm sorry. I had an idiot moment, I guess. Go ahead.
you two are there with Remus, and he did just drop some pretty heavy predictions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Go ahead and start packing. I'm going to go find the others, and if they won't come, then the two of us will. But I think I should be able to get them. I can be I could be a little persuasive. I don't seem it, but I can if need be.
Thank you.
I want to take him up on that challenge.
Oh. I may have signed my death warrant.
Hi. Hi. Scram.
Yes, type.
Tippity type type tippity type type.
Yeah.
God damn it, D.
Well, I have a question. Would the area that Spring is in kind of have like its own separate bathhouse, or is it just the one that or is the only one that is the one that Kib got taken to for his?
It's the one that
Spir-
Kib went to.
Okay.
Stop bringing it up.
No, it's too much fun.
Poor abused Kib.
You're all busters. Hey, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, you're the one
I
that
see that.
I mean, you're the one that's committed all the warm crimes.
God damn it, D, stop it.
I guess, I guess, at this point, Spring would probably be over there getting his spiritual cleansing.
Oh, are you going for the full cleansing?
I mean, Spring is relatively gay, so I mean, let's go. I'll let your minds wonder where that one goes.
I think that was timed a little bit too well.
Yeah.
Did somebody,
I like Jax's response to that.
did somebody's remote control toy go off there?
I plugged in the Duke Xbox controller and it vibrated. So someone's having some fun with their Duke later.
Ooh, woo.
Ooh, woo, Colonel.
Kitty, kitty, come on.
Anyways, but yeah, we'll say he's going for the full thing.
Hop up, you little dummy.
I mean, it was just a surprise for Kib. He didn't know what he was signing on for.
Well, I mean, he had to get cleansed of all those warm crimes.
Listen here, you little shit.
Yeah, they were cleansed before they even had a chance.
Okay. So yeah, unless Remus has anything else he wants to say to them, Kib is gonna finish his tea. But Were the tea leaves? Was the tea leaf or leaves just loose in the cup?
Yeah.
He's gonna, out of habit, he's gonna glance into them to see if there's anything if there's just an interesting pattern or anything. He doesn't read tea leaves. He just likes the patterns.
Roll a religion check.
Arr.
Num, 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 num.
It looks like a pretty little bunny on your cup.
Kim gives a giggle. It's a bunny. Just puts the teacup down and hops out of the chair.
Remus waits for you to like leave the room, and then, or if you do leave the room, he's gonna wait for you to like
Yeah.
turn your back. He's gonna like look in that cup and go, "Oh, it is a bunny."
This campaign is full of stupid.
It's
Yes,
Every
it's
D&D
true.
game
though.
is full of stupid.
It's fun.
I'm not saying anything bad about it.
It's not stupid if it's fun. That's my excuse always.
Fair
What
enough.
is
That's a war
Rowan doing?
crime.
You said that Remus was basically done, and we were like essentially. Honestly, Rowan would probably make his way to go see where Spring was.
Your spring has sprung.
Why? So he can point at Spring? Like everybody else?
Yes.
I don't
Point
think
at
Rowan
and
has ever pointed
outspring.
at Spring yet.
That's why I said, like everyone else.
But yeah,
So, you probably, if you exit there and start walking back toward the main area, you probably see Spring just as he's walking into the bathhouse, which is directly on the kind of square in front of the ziggurat.
Ooh. Let's give Spring a moment. That he's gonna be in for something. Let's find Thackeray first.
Thackeray was walking out of the building at the time and is apparently steaming. Not angry, just literally steaming.
Oh.
We've heard him.
There's Thackeray. He seems to be. Uh, Kim has no explanation for what he's seeing.
This is what's playing in Kib's brain as he sees this.
You done?
Kip is just getting
Damn it,
picked.
T.
Kip is just getting picked on.
I mean, I'm used to this.
goodness.
Thackeray, are you okay there? You seem yeah.
He just looks over at the thing and, "Why, yes, my clothes are just drying." He adjusts them again to keep preventing wrinkles
Oh.
as they continue to dry in a small steam cloud.
I'm sorry, excuse me, but bullshit. Your fucking self. You put wet clothes on and then you're just steam cleaning them with your own body.
He's a robot.
Shields are fun.
This is stuff you could technically do with prestidigitation, so I'm allowing it.
I thought that was basically a lot of him that was able to do that.
I'm done. This campaign, these characters.
I love them so much.
Rowan would just take a glance at Thackeray and be like, "Alrighty then." And
can we talk? It's
Go ahead.
somewhat
What is
important.
it?
You remember Remus, right?
Yes, I remember the wonderful fellow.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Kib will well, he can't really stand on tiptoes. He doesn't have toes, but he'll wave for you to come closer so that he can talk quieter because he doesn't want to get anyone in trouble. So
Yeah.
well,
What is it?
he's got into a little bit of trouble with the high priest. He still wants to go to Ruin Island, and I've already promised him I would go with him because I too want to
Fair
unlock
enough.
his. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if you would be willing to come with us.
Was there ever any question?
Well, I had to be sure. I couldn't just volunteer someone without their knowing. That seems a bit wrong.
I understand. I do have everything I need with me. We can of course go whenever is necessary.
He's packing his things now. I figure we should probably just wait for spring to get out of his out of the so-called bath.
I ended up venturing over there. I didn't have any need for bodily cleansing or anything like that. My body can take care of itself as far as that goes. But
Lucky
I
you!
certainly. He just tilts his head to the bit to the side and goes like, "You don't have to tell me, but if you need to talk about it later, you can."
It was just very unpleasant and unexpected. Enough said.
Well, a lot of things in life are that way, but let's go ahead and join them. I'll go ahead and join up with Remus. Where is he exactly?
He's back in his home, packing.
All right, I'll go ahead and join them. And can you give me the directions real quick?
Kib gives him the directions of what house to look for.
I go ahead and trot off.
Kib will shift around a bit before approaching the bathhouse again. He doesn't like it now.
So,
You just hear
spring cleaning.
you just hear a Minecraft cave noise as you walk toward it.
I'm not sure what this means.
It's amusing.
I didn't grow up with Minecraft.
Oh, me neither, but I've watched enough YouTube to know what it means. The emote T shared in the chat is pretty appropriate for the description of the sound. It's like, oh, it's a very uncomforting sound.
All right.
Well, Kib would be good at headbutts, wouldn't he?
Oh boy.
Wow.
Anyway.
So,
Well, at this point, Spring is walking out from the bathhouse, draped with practically just a towel, and incredibly
He's
fucking
freaky fresh.
Yeah, I would have waited for him to come out. Kib would not have ventured in. He respects privacy. Oh my! You're
Yeah, I'm what?
you're not dressed.
No. I left my clothes back at my room. Why would I bring them with me to the bathhouse where they could potentially get wet?
So you would be decent when you left.
Mm,
Kib is looking anywhere but Spring.
He has a towel on, dude. He's technically
Yeah,
proper.
I know, but Kib that's still not enough for Kib's poor mind. You realize how short he is.
So, are we all like together at this point?
We're
except-
drawing to it.
Yeah.
I would have went ahead and joined at Rowan's.
We're going to be assisting Rowan. We would like it if you would come with us.
What's Rowan need help with?
No, I mean, not, God damn it, I said Rowan, I meant Remus.
Remus? The guy that helped us get here?
Yes, he wants to continue his research, but
Keep it
he
hush hush.
got in a little bit of trouble.
Here,
And
here. Come with me to my room.
uh,
There's a
Gabe will
spot.
follow.
Don't worry, there's a little changing station where I will be completely hidden, so you will not see anything.
Okay, good.
So, Spring will guide Kib over to the room where he was staying at. You said it was the goat house, if I remember correctly,
The deer house.
or deer house. So, uh, as the two enter the room, Spring locks the door behind him and then proceeds to move behind the kind of the like clothing partition where he's hidden.
Yeah, the privacy screen type thing, I'm guessing is what they're called.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on?
Okay, so he got in a bit of a. The high priest wants him to stop his research, says it's heresy, and is threatening him with excommunication if he continues, but he wants to continue his research, which I applaud. It could help out a lot of people. He wants to go back. He still wants to go to the Ruin Island, but he won't be able to get any help from the church, from the temple. I promised my help. Thackeray and Rowan are also on board. We would like it if you would join us as well.
I get the feeling this is going to have something to do with Leo's condition.
He thinks it could help them. Yes, all of them. He's done the numbers, and he thinks that in another 20 years, half the people on the island could be afflicted just as Leo is.
Kib would hear the rattling of chainmail as Spring finishes adorning his armor, revealing himself from behind the privacy curtain. He grabs his weapons, swinging both of his swords to his sides, and then placing his bow and quiver upon his back. Don't worry, I'll help him out.
Oh, good. So I think the others are with him now. He was. I was hoping you would join. The rest of you would join. He should be at his house still.
Well, lead the way.
All right. Yeah. So brave.
What? The fuck?
Sorry, I'm reading what T said.
No, I know. I see what.
Oh, god damn it.
I'm out. I'm out.
That's not even what a spring chicken is.
I'm
T.
out. I'm done. I'm out.
Stop it.
Fucking out. I'm
That's not
done.
what that euphemism means. It means someone
Meme.
young. Oh, damn it. He back.
Welcome back.
Oh no. It hurt, T. That hurt so much.
It did. It hurt me. Right in my soul.
Well,
Oh,
if your soul hurts, you should get it cleansed.
I did, and
got
then
one.
you. I did, and then you heard it again.
He needs
Insert
another
thing
one now.
into
You-
place.
You freaking committed a war crime, and for that you must be punished.
Punished.
Anyways,
Not you, B2.
before we go too far off track, let's continue on, please.
All right. Kip will give him will make a quick trip back to his room to gather his things before leading him to Remus's home.
Man, the cats have the zoomies today.
Oh boy.
So, Fact didn't know where Remus lives, but he did walk off to go find him.
No, I
was
I
told
gave
the
him directions.
instructions.
Okay.
Yeah, I told him how to get to it.
So when Fact gets there, Remus is talking to kind of a large, what appears to be a magpie in a blue robe, who starts walking away before you manage to walk up to him.
All right. I go ahead and join him and say, "Hello, I am here to assist."
I've just been given a pressing job,
Oh, that's what a magpie is.
but
Oh.
it's down in Mistaken Village, so it's a bit closer to what we're headed to. It does
Ah,
give me a reason to be able to leave without any suspicion.
very well. That's good. We'll go ahead and be able to use that as the statement. And we'll probably even be able to go ahead and help you there. Bzzz.
Someone's vibrator's still on.
Come on, come on. That shouldn't be on your desktop. It belongs other places.
Anyway.
So, Remus holds up a piece of paper and he says, I've got an acquisition form for transport, so this should be a lot easier to make it there. I was anticipating having to go out at night and rough it by foot.
Ah, okay then. Either way, we should be able to go ahead and assist with that. And a justification for a cart might occur with a party going to assist you. Or, if you feel it would be more prudent, we can always avoid doing so and simply join you outside the temple.
I believe I can bring you along. By the
Very
way,
well.
you know about the month of changing?
Month of changing?
Yes, there are months that are strongly related to the
Really?
the five spirits.
How so?
It seems that their power grows or wanes depending on the month. This is the month of change. That's why the leaves on the trees turn color and fall.
Alright. Fair enough. So
It
you
does
mean it's turning to autumn?
it does have connotations to, well, death as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask, do you have any experience with the dead?
Dead as in truly dead, or not quite dead?
Well, I mean, you're either dead or you aren't. It's just a matter of whether you're persisting.
Alright. What's the context here?
A haunting.
I do not have personal experience with this, but I have found that where physical force will often suffice, and where that doesn't, non-physical force can. If you're talking about violently putting things back to rest.
Well, we're not quite sure of the context. It's,
It was a little bit light on that point, I suppose.
yes, I'm afraid common people aren't that knowledgeable in when they make reports about
I would
paranormal activity.
I would go ahead and assume the worst. Go ahead and bring appropriate supplies in the event that the dead do indeed walk. I
Rowan
feel that would
raises a
be the
brow
most
at that.
prudent choice.
I can't I can't help but picture that. I'm sorry, I know this is sidetracking. I just can't help but picture that scene from the corpse bride where the town crier's like, in other news, the dead walk the earth.
Also, KTP, I would like to direct your attention towards chat.
Hmm.
Like the live stream chat, not like in-game chat.
Are they here to see warm crimes?
And scroll up, because I'm pretty sure that the one that Darius posted is quite appropriate for Kib.
Uh,
Oh,
oh,
wait.
are the blushies?
Yes.
Oh, pretty much.
Okay. Anyways, continue on.
So Rowan starts walking toward the temple, toward the ziggurat. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi,
So yeah, did I say Rowan?
you did.
Oh,
Oh, um,
you meant Ramus?
I'm very when two characters have a name that starts with the same letter, I will be so dyslexic about it. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I kind of figured you
Yeah.
didn't mean me
I-
because I was like, well, that seems kind of weird that you're controlling my character.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my two best friends are named Josh and James. It took me 5 years to stop saying the wrong name.
You mean James? So it'd be James
Jaboth?
Armstrong. That's okay. My grandma did the same thing. She'd call me like everything under the sun. She'd call me Daniel. She'd call me let's see. She'd call me Daniel. She'd call me James. Even though my middle name is actually James. So
Oh, now
Interesting.
Mine
Josh,
often referred to me to by by both my cousin's names and my sister's name
oh
on
dude,
the regular for like, oh wait, no, Caitlin, oh wait, no, Steve, yeah,
she'd call me by her. She'd call me my uncle Daryl's name. I'm like, what?
yeah,
Anyway.
but yeah,
So
back
you would
to
all
Remus.
see everybody who's heading towards Remus's place would probably see him walking with his big book and his a large kind of piece of paper.
And his little entourage.
Yeah.
Well, why
Oh,
not recruit the adventurers again?
well, there he is. I guess we don't have to go all the way to his house.
Oh, well, that's convenient.
Very.
Might as well follow suit.
Yep, Kib will fall into step behind Remus.
Okay. As you all walk along, you slowly get to the area where you had pulled the cart in, because that appears to be where the carts come and go from.
Mhm.
And Remus walks up to one of the acolytes in gray and just hands them the piece of paper, and they run into the back room. And you see supplies just start getting loaded onto a cart.
Yay, bureaucracy. No, that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. a very bureaucratic-looking religion, apparently.
Oh no. Now I'm thinking of them all having numbers. Like Futurama from the
God
company.
damn it, no! I did not need that episode put back into my head. Oh, I hate
Now we
you.
just need a male witch who we can call a man witch.
Yeah.
Oh,
My man witch!
my fucking god, don't. My name is Bender. Please insert girder. Is now stuck in my head.
I don't remember that one. I was referring to the one where they all went to the bureaucracy
That's why
headquarters.
they went to the bureaucracy headquarters, because one stupid chick got angry, or because Bender saw things that he shouldn't have, so she removed his brain and then sent it off to the bureaucracy office, and they went
Oh
to go
right,
get his brain back.
right, that's right. I remember the lady who was having the affair with Fry.
Yes.
All I can think of is the guy in line who's super old, and they're like, what are you waiting in line for? My birth certificate!
Oh my.
I remember that one.
Okay, back to what's going on. The cart gets loaded up. It seems like it's got rations and supplies.
And all the good things.
And soon enough, it's getting pushed to where it's connected up to a horse.
Yeet.
And you see Rowan get into the front of the cart where...
Remus.
Sorry? Remus get up in the front of the cart where he can basically drive the thing. And he beckons you all over so that you can come get in the cart.
Kib gets up on the cart. Well, he'll need help getting onto the cart, but he gets up there eventually.
Just picks up Kib and yeets him.
Boost.
Make an athletics.
Uppies. Uppies for goat.
Make an athletics check.
Oh, wait, who?
Spring.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Really? To lift a goat?
No, I'm yeeting him.
Oh,
Oh no.
Let's see. Oh, please let me get him stuck. Let me get him stuck. Let me get him stuck. How to do?
You toss the goat into the cart, and he lands with a splat in the middle. And
Land on butt.
There's your uppies.
ow.
Hey,
That was a bit rude.
hey, you didn't say I had to be delicate. You just said you needed help up. So,
Fair point.
Weed.
anyways, Spring hops up into the cart and sits more up towards the front near Remus.
so, is everybody getting loaded in?
Yee.
Oh,
Go ahead and
Thacker
join Remus.
Thacker was staying in the wolf area too with for the rooms, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then if he had anything left over, Kib would probably have grabbed it before leaving the area too for him.
As for Rowan, he's just gonna join on up.
Okay,
Okay.
so
He just kind of brought everything with him.
Remus, kind of... I know nothing about horses. He does that waggle thing with the reins where the horse starts moving.
Did anyone
Yeah, he just-
actually take animal handling?
Definitely
Did
didn't.
I? Did I? Maybe. Hang on. I have to look.
I did.
I
Hang
don't.
on. I'm actually curious now.
I do have I have animal handling as one of my skills.
I think it's
Yeah, you
just.
take it.
I think it's just called a flick of the reins.
Yeah, that's what it is. Why? What do you want me to do?
The-
Reins.
I think, though, to be fair, depending seeing as how many people there are, it might be needing 2 horses to be pulling it.
No, it's a very big horse.
Draft
okay, so-
hair.
Okay.
Why do
All
I
right.
need? Do I need to make an animal handling check?
Shouldn't.
Oh,
No, I
So-
think T was just referring to that he didn't know what it was called himself.
So he takes the reins and he wiggles them a bit, and the horse just kind of like goes at him, and he tries again, like awkwardly, and the horse doesn't move, and then you see Remus just goes, come on, Father Boo Boo."
here.
And then the cart starts moving.
Well, okay. Hey, Remus, would you like for me to take over? I know how to handle animals pretty well. I've lived in Forlor Woods most of my life.
Do you know the way?
You can guide me.
You see, he just kind of like awkwardly moves over to give you room to sit up on the front.
Spring takes the reins and climbs over the divider and sits next to Remus.
So make an animal handling check.
Oh God, please D20. Don't. Fuck you. Fuck you.
So the horse that had been quite difficult for Remus just starts trotting along as if nothing's wrong the moment you take the reins.
Haha! Success!
Now watch, that's gonna be my only nat 20 I get all fucking night.
I suppose. Maybe. Who knows?
So the horse starts moving, and Remus guides you towards the gates, and gets you to stop as you get through the gates. And a guard hands Remus a piece of paper that he folds up and puts into his pocket, and then he just kind of motions for you to keep going.
Spring would lightly flick the reins, and to signal for the horse to continue moving.
So soon enough, you're on the road, and Remus helps you kind of figure out exactly where you're going. You're going down the same kind of winding cliff areas with the kind of mist below, where whenever the mist kind of clears up in an area, you can see that it's all graveyard below there.
Okay.
Yee.
Soon enough, as you kind of get to the base of these cliffs, you hook around to kind of travel below them, and you're now on more of a road where you can see the coast in the distance because you are elevated. So you can see forests, and you can see kind of the ocean on the other end of it, but you can't quite see the beach because of the forest.
And it's safe to assume that the horse just kind of like follows most of my commands pretty
Yeah.
easily.
You are operating as one unit.
You have identified with the Haas.
Can we smell the ocean from here, though?
You can definitely spell Rowan. He's the only one who didn't take a bath.
Well, this is true.
Stimky
Kib,
Wolf!
Kib scoots away from the bear. Just a little
Wait.
bit.
No.
Wait.
Damn it. Rowan, never
What's
mind.
going on?
He's doing
Wait, who did he say it was? Stinky?
Apparently, the bear is
Rowan.
stinky.
I feel like he would have done that before he came, but okay. I guess that's how
True.
it be.
But no. Cable will be pretty much have his eyes locked on the ocean the whole time. On the coast.
roll perception.
Oh, okay. Perception. Yeet!
What is
Yay!
with your perception rolls today? Jesus.
You can
Well,
see,
I had to make up for last week.
you can see what you clearly identify as fishing ships out there.
Give do you know how kids get when they see something that excites them? They bounce a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kib's doing that. He's bouncing a little bit because he loves boats, but he doesn't know
Little goat tail
why.
switching.
His tail is a waggling. He is excited. He is excited.
Goat. Magical goat powers of being adorable.
He is the go-go. If he ever
Goatable.
gets druid levels, he must grow grass like go-goat.
Tempting, but I try to keep my it pure one class usually.
So as you come around one of the more like sheer cliff areas, you're now kind of on level with the graveyard. And if you look over in that direction, there's kind of a swampy smell. And you can see a bunch of people in white robes, and they're by one of the graves, and it looks like they're working on it somehow. Spring, can you roll a religion check for me?
Yeah, I can definitely take care of that for you. No problem. Religion. There it is.
In before one.
Well, to be fair, there is a 1 in it, so you weren't wrong.
You know exactly what they're doing. They're exhuming bodies to move them to the necropolis because the graveyard is spiritually unclean because of the way that they did their burials on the island. So it's clearly some attempt that they're very slowly trying to move bodies from there to the necropolis. But it's a very long and involved ritual to be able to do it, A, respectfully, and B, without causing all sorts of ghoulies to occur.
And pissing off the elementals even more, or the spirits.
Yeah. So you continue winding around the coast, past all of these graves, until you kind of come out to a more hilly area by the woods. You can see when you get to the crossroad here, Remus does guide you to go right, and from that area you can actually see Bistelwarn up here, which is one of the other forests on the island that you know. But you do soon
Kib,
start making your way down to Mistaken Village on roads that directly go along the coast.
Kib is excited to be getting closer to the coast at this point.
Kib, keep it in your pants, please. And stop rattling the god blessed cart.
Boots!
I understand, but Mistaken Village is it's a coastal village. You will be able to see all the boats you want after we're done with our job.
Right, of course. I'm sorry. It's just I don't know why I'm so attracted to the boats.
I understand, but this
I don't
horse
know.
is...
Maybe you had relations with a boat. It's
but this horse is very delicate, and any sudden crazy movements might piss it off. It's already
of course.
it's already very uncomfortable with you bouncing around like that.
Yeah, I'll try to contain myself. I'm sorry.
Good boy.
So, as you do look over the side of the cart, you see a fishing ship that's kind of closer to shore. It looks like it's kind of casting its nets near the rocks. Kind of a riskier place to fish, but also probably a more lucrative place to fish. And you can see one of the men on the ship waves at you as you go past on your cart.
Kib waves back energetically, but he's doing his best not to bounce.
Happy
Um,
goat.
Hey,
Happy goat.
Lorgans,
Yes.
I poked your DMs.
Oh. Hang on.
what's going on?
Nothing. It's
Body.
it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing important to the campaign.
Nothing sordid.
So soon enough, you guys start getting closer to Mistaken Village, and it seems like this is a much kind of smoother road than it was down here to get to Mistaken Village. It's mostly downhill, so you do manage to make it there, kind of as the sun starts getting lower in the sky. And pretty soon, you're into what's looks like a very bustling village. You can smell the ocean like quite strongly here. It's not an unpleasant smell though. It's not like that kind of fishy, grody smell that you sometimes get by the coast.
It's more of a salty, fresh, salty air kind of smell.
Yeah.
Kib breathes deep.
Way to huff it.
I don't know what it is. Just this fresh smell of the sea. I'm drawn to it.
So soon enough, you're rolling through the town, and there's a couple big buildings. There's a town hall. There's a large inn, and then you see an area, and the area is kind of people are avoiding it. It seems like people aren't walking on the side of the road where this building is, and it's got some like tinted orange windows. It's probably about 4 stories tall, and it looks it looks very old. It's got a kind of a tower at the top of it that goes up by a single floor into the roof area, and it's got a big sign in front that says the Harlequin Theater.
Oh no.
The smile just kind of creeps across the at the corners of Zachary's mouth a bit as he looks at it.
You do see a lot of really old posters on the front of it. And it seems like the posters are like too faded to really make out. But they've got like fanciful designs on it, and sometimes you can make out like a word or two, and it says like the famous singing something, or come see the incredible something.
The Incredible Yeet. Or something.
Also, just something to note that when they do get closer to the actual coastline, you do notice Rowan's head sort of lift up as he sniffs at the air, and it does seem like he is a bit attracted to the water as well, just a lot more quietly than Kib is.
Okie dokie.
back is killing me. Ow.
Can we vote to ban T from the session?
We kind of need him though.
Ban him from what?
Well, okay. Well, all in favor to ban his dad jokes.
I
I.
Mlam.
You
J
could call them bad jokes.
LMNOP.
QRSTUVWXYZ.
Now you guys know your ABCs. Next time, don't sing
No,
them again.
we don't know all of them. We started with I.
Now you know your ABCs. Won't you come and drink with me?
Chug, 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 chug.
So this is where Remus kind of he pulls into a stables that is directly next to the the large inn there, and you see he just kind of gets out of the cart and pulls out a coin purse, and he walks up to the stable attendant and starts talking to them, but they're a little bit out of earshot.
Kib
But you do
determined to
hear the
boot on
sound
this.
of shattering glass. It sounds like really heavily shattering glass, kind of across the road, and you see one of the windows of the theater is now broken, and there's a kind of a chair laying in the middle of the street.
Does it look like any of the residents are bothered by this, or just like,
It looks
oh,
like
this
a
is
whole
normal?
bunch of people like took a step back and are worldly looking, but it doesn't seem like they think this is out of the ordinary for what they're used to.
All right. Well, Kib is determined to get out of the cart on his own because he doesn't want to be yeeted again.
Okay.
I go ahead and step down and start heading over to the commotion.
Remus, will you be alright by yourself for now?
Remus walks back over as you say that and says,
Oh.
He looks at the theater and says, I think that's the building.
Ah, so it's already the one we need to deal with?
Yes.
Fill me in then. They just had a chair get yeeted out the window.
What does yeeted mean?
It's a colloquialism that typically means to chuck something, to throw it with gregarious aplomb.
In before he doesn't know what colloquialism means.
You just see Remus walk over and look at the building, and the sun is now like quite low.
Should we go in now or find out what we can at the inn and go in the morning?
Well, that depends on you all.
I'm not too
I know.
fond of the idea of going into a potentially haunted building at night.
All I know is that a theater house probably has some reading materials and other details that I'd like to. It's a little bit more difficult to do that in the dark. Not to mention, it's not exactly conducive to a thorough investigation unless something actually only comes out at night. Let's go ahead and get more information around town first and then see what we need to do.
Yeah.
After all, we might learn more of the history that could give us a little bit of a background.
You know what? I second that notion. It's better because depending on what kind of spirit it is, knowing more about it could help us.
Well, keep in mind, now, from at least from what I can recall, I don't think I was from a society that particularly had these problems, but at least in stories and whatnot, it's always said that knowing the origins and natures of a place that may be haunted could give you insight into what exactly caused the problem and potentially how to solve it. So, knowing your history about the area would probably be a good idea.
Well, let's. Well, Thackeray, in your opinion, where would be the best place to start?
Well, where is it that everyone always goes in town, gets smashed, and spills their metaphorical guts?
Well, I would
I,
definitely say the tavern.
let's go ahead and go there.
Okay, so you are right next door to an inn and tavern.
Oh well
Is
then.
that actually... Quick question. The tavern wouldn't happen to have some sort of a fixture to the playhouse by any chance?
It's just across the street from it.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
well then. Let's get going.
I go ahead and I'm going to walk right on in. And as
So
I...
as you walk up to the building, you see it's got various kind of diamond-shaped squares of stained glass in all of the windows, and there's a large sign over the door that says the busking bastard.
Busking?
Yeah.
Define, please.
You know how uh okay, there's two different definitions, but they basically mean the same thing. You know how musicians will sometimes play on the side of the in parks and they have their guitar case or whatever open?
Yeah, the ones that usually play to get like a little bit of like tip money or something like that.
Yeah, that's a definition of busking, but also waiters and waitresses technically people who work for tips are technically usually referred to as buskers,
Oh, okay.
That's
if I
interesting.
remember correctly. So yeah, that's why there's some people who call it busking tables. Now, if that's what T meant, I don't know for sure, but I think that's probably what I'm hoping I didn't just make a fool of myself by giving a definition.
It checks out.
Yee.
So, go ahead, T.
So as you walk inside, you see um, the bar has probably about 20 people in it, some very large tables, at least 20 patrons around the front area. There's a large wooden staircase that leads up to a second floor, and there's two people behind the bar. One of them appears to be, he's kind of an older man, clearly Lapine, and the other person is a younger man who appears to be an ocelot.
I go ahead and generally make a beeline, weaving my way through the tables until I go ahead and come up to the bar and go ahead and take a seat. Good
Um,
evening.
which one are you staying near? Because the two aren't standing super close to each other. Probably on the left side of the bar, you see the younger man, and the right side of the bar, you see the older man.
Was there anything that might indicate that, like, give me a bit more of a detailed description if you could have done?
So the older man appears to be in kind of, how do I put it, more mundane clothing. He's got a little bit of a beard going. It goes all the way around his mouth into kind of a goatee at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks probably in his late 60s, and he's just writing in some kind of ledger. And you see the young man is wearing kind of a more flamboyant outfit, and He's got kind of a bright smile and a piercing in one of his ears. And he's currently cleaning a cup. He's got like a bucket of water, and he's cleaning out mugs.
Let's see. Choices. Seeing as the one with the ledger seems to be a bit busier, I'll go ahead and save pestering him for later for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and sit down in front of the younger one. What species was he again?
He's an ocelot.
I go ahead and basically sit down and say, "Good evening, and how's your evening going today?"
Pretty good, other than, business
Haunting
hasn't been
next
as
door?
good as it could have been. As you can see across the street, there's quite a commotion.
Yes, we were just witness to that upon coming in. I think that may, in fact, be something that we're here to look into. That said, though, I was wondering a little bit of a history about the building. Seems to be an old playhouse.
It was an old theater. I used to go there when I was a kid, but I remember when it shut down.
What was the incident that caused this?
Well, the rumor is that 2 of the performers went crazy.
That can put a little bit of a damper on, especially depending on the nature of the craziness occurred.
Well, they had... who do I remember? They had a fortune teller who used to tell fortunes in the audience. They had a dancer. They had the singing doll. They had the man who played with fire. I think he called himself a fire dancer?
Interesting.
Okay, not gonna lie, this is almost sounding like a goddamn circus.
And they had a fool. Yes, they had a fool.
Ah, seems less like a theater and more like a generalized troupe.
Oh no, they put on productions, but they all had their own spin to things.
Individual productions. Is that it?
Oh no, they actually did. They did all act, which was rather talented about them. I remember they did a production of what was it? Oh, The Lion, the Witch, and the Warhorse.
That does sound a little bit of an interesting one.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Did you? No, no. This is not. This is the player talking. Did you seriously just bullshit the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe just by saying, "Oh no, it's a warhorse"?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Quick question. I think I got them all, but I feel like I might have missed one. Fortune teller, dancer, singing doll, fire dancer, and a fool were the ones
Yeah.
on staff. Okay,
I.
that was just me for my notes.
T, I'm done with you.
Would you or anyone else remember the exact incident and how it played out?
No, man, I was 8.
Perhaps your compatriot here in the bar might. Would you think he would remember? He did seem a little bit busy, so I was loath to pester him.
He never liked the place, but he was always a little bit nosy about it. I remember.
Well, there's nothing ever wrong inquiring with a busybody, because you tend to hear quite a few things. So that he may indeed be someone we should inquire with. I can understand that appreciation of performing arts is not always to everyone's taste, especially depending on the subject matter or anything else. But the more we know about it, the more we can assist.
You see, the also puts his hand out and says, "If you need anything, you can call on me. My name's Billiam Teagan."
Very well. I shall endeavor to do so.
He puts his hand out to shake.
Zachary goes ahead and prefers his own and grasps it and indeed does shake.
He has a rather firm handshake and kind of waggles your arm with it while pulling his hand back.
Hopefully we can go ahead and see what the problem is. I can't imagine it's good for business.
Rowan would just start kind of roaming about, more or less more not investigating so per se, but more just like gathering his surroundings the best he can.
Rowan is
Looking
roaming.
Probably preparing for the binge.
more or less, well, more or less, he's looking like in like dark corners. He's looking at like any staircases, basically any place anybody could come from or be tucked away in.
I have my next action plan, but I'm going to go ahead and wait until you deem
Where is Rowan right now?
He would be with them in the
There's a staircase and a door to a back room. And then a bunch of patrons just kind of sitting around tables. Some of them are playing cards. All of them are drinking.
He would likely go to test the door just to see if it's locked.
The door is behind the bar.
Oh, well, then never mind. He would assume that is restricted at that rate. And aside from that, he'd probably walk over to the stairs, take a glance up to see if there was anybody there at the time, and then if not, more or less just keep at a distance, but basically be there to back up his team.
So, there is somebody at the top of the stairs, but they're walking down, and they appear to be just a kind of an average person, just walking down the stairs. And it looks like they're walking toward the exit of the building, just coming down the stairs, going on his way.
Can I insight that?
Yes. He's just walking out to do whatever his business is at this late hour.
Okay.
He's going to his corner.
He's got to go buy some scuzzbrow.
Gotcha.
Because I figure this tavern doesn't serve that. Speaking of that, Kib is going to make his way over to the one that looks like the bartender, which is the one, I believe Thackeray's the one talking to him.
Yeah.
He's going to go over and be like, do you have ale?
Yeah, we've got the stuff up from Emble Farm. Just Emble Farm ale, and we've got highbrow, the local stuff.
I will take whichever one, whichever one's cheaper and better. I'm going to have to assume it's better than Scuzz.
Oh, you mean that shit that they're serving out east or out west? Yeah.
Yeah. I desperately need something better than that. It's been too long.
Well, Emble's not that expensive, but highbrow is a little bit more expensive.
Which one do you prefer, price aside?
Oh, definitely highbrow.
I'll take one of those, please.
That'll be 3 silver.
Okay, I gotta do the math. That'll be one gold would mean I get 7 silver back, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Kib hands him over a gold because that's the smallest he's got.
And he hands you back a glass bottle that's got a cork in the top of it. But it's kind of like a champagne cork. It looks like you could pop it out pretty easy.
Okay. Kib thanks him and pops the cork.
Spring heads over to the bartender next.
Which one? The older gentleman or the younger one?
Preferably the older one.
Okay, the older one is just kind of has his nose in a ledger. He's got some spectacles on over his kind of like weary older eyes.
Pardon me, sir.
Yes.
I'd like to kind of order some food. I'm a little hungry.
Oh, you should talk to Billiam about that. I'm afraid my legs are old and rickety.
I assume William is the younger gentleman that my compatriot over there is talking to?
Yes, he's the ocelot over there.
Ah, very well. Thank you for your time, sir.
No problem.
I guess I'll head over to William then.
So, I'm assuming Thackeray's just finished talking to Billiam over there.
Yep, and is probably making his way, I'm assuming, Priotor.
So Billiam looks up at Spring and says, "How can I help you?"
Yeah, what do you guys have on the menu for food?
Well, are you wanting to stay the night? Because that comes with a meal. If you want a meal on its own, that'll be 3 silver.
Let me take a look and see what I've got for coinage. Let's see. Uh, Wait. Are we are we actually sta- are we actually staying the night here tonight, guys, or are we not?
That would be something we'd need to talk to about with Remus, because we don't know. We kind of went in without planning on that bit.
Well, I would assume that we are, considering the fact that it's nighttime, so it would be really hard for us to do any
Yeah.
kind of.
Plus, we need to fix that before we go into to Ruin Island. So I would say that we probably are.
All right. Yeah, we'll be staying the night.
That's 2 gold pieces each. That includes all your food and a couple of drinks.
Uh, Spring would reach into his backpack and to his coin purse, pulling out uh two gold coins and handing them over.
He takes the coins and gives you a smile and says, so do you want the venison course, the fish course, the vegetable course?"
Uh, are are they able to be mixed together by chance?
It's a complete
Uh,
3 courses. Sorry, it's 3 courses for each one.
okay. I will take the venison one then.
Very well.
Cable hand 2 gold over for his own room, and like, I'll have the vegetable course.
Awesome, and it is completely without any meat.
That's
Don't worry.
good. Thank you. Him
It's,
goat. He don't eat meat.
They would drop 2 gold on the counter and be like, meat.
he just nods and points over to a vacant table. So,
I'll go over there with the others, I believe.
Yeah, I head over there as well.
Thack is now over by the older rabbit.
I have a question.
Yes,
Is the seating, is it booths or is it chairs?
it's rather comfortable looking chairs.
Okay.
Also, it is approaching 10 o'clock. It's about 9:48. When do we plan on taking a break?
Now, I do have a what might be a little bit of a longer um, piece of adventuring coming up. That I don't think you guys have time to do because we only have about another hour of time.
Hmm. So maybe perhaps have that for the next session?
Yes, we should
I
wrap up soon.
I
Okay.
I would definitely agree with saving the longer one for next week.
I was gonna say, if it's gonna be a lot of like
Agreed.
adventuring and like more intensive stuff, then probably better for next time.
Because it
I
feels like
have
because it definitely feels like this session was another one to get just kind of more story.
moved. Yeah.
I've been enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just like that's
Oh,
just
no, I
was-
didn't think you were. I just want to let Tina know that I am enjoying things. Sorry, I apologize if it sounded like I was calling you out there.
Yeah,
It was not my intention.
So let's go ahead and wrap up then, I guess.
Well, you guys can continue to do stuff in the inn if you wish.
Well,
Okay.
I go ahead and walk up to the laptop. Good evening, sir.
Yes.
It's my understanding that you have a rather good grasp in the going-ons of town, correct?
Well, know as much as the next rabbit.
That said, though, I understand that there's a little bit of a ruckus going on with the theater across the way. I can't imagine that's good for business. I wonder if you might be able to give me some insight into the background of what's going on.
Though, put it frank, one of the performers killed another performer, and they've been closed ever since.
Okay. You wouldn't happen to know where I might find, say, an incident report or any other details that would give me more information about what's going on?
Also,
Would you?
would Rowan have heard that?
It's across kind of a busy tavern, so you'd have to roll perception for that.
Okay. Let me go ahead and. Oh, come on. There we go. Just a regular perception check.
Yes.
Boop. Boop.
You do catch the words "killed another performer." That's about it, though.
His ears perk at that, and he sort of flicks his eyes over that direction before letting out a bit of a huff through his nose.
I go ahead and continue on, and so, is this this the only incidents of violence or untoward things happening at the location?
It happened about a month after a fistfight broke out between performers on stage.
Okay. Your younger friend down there seemed to inform me that people had gone mad, as it were. Not just merely perhaps a grudge, but or something else.
All of the... Okay, now, the theater was originally struggling. It was run by a group called the Robins, and they could sing and they could act, but they just didn't seem to pull anybody.
Ah, couldn't find quite the right audience then.
And then they got in a group, just random people that they brought in of interest after All Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And the place exploded in popularity. They built it up. But eventually the relationship between the two groups broke down and they started infighting. And, well, the manager of the theater ended up killing one of the performers.
That is unfortunate. I suppose there were a little bit of a disagreement in vision.
Nobody really knows why it happened. He was one of the better actors in the place, also ran it. Killed a young woman. It was rather tragic.
Ah. Are any of the former troops still living in the town?
Unfortunately, most of them are living up at Cliff Temple.
At the temple?
Yes.
I imagine that they may not be quite so coherent in this day, then.
No, that theater was, in my opinion, was always haunted.
It certainly seems to be living up to that reputation now. Like, I'm all for a good theater and everything. It's always good to have a nice venue to perform in. But when the furniture starts to throw itself through windows, I think it might be a little bit of a time for some special attention for the venue.
It's what you get when you start celebrating All Fool's Day every day of the week in a haunted house.
Interesting. You do have a little bit of a point here, and while I'm not so familiar with the goings-on of this island, I imagine that what I've seen so far confirms that.
If you wanted to find the couple that didn't go to Cliff Temple, I know the only ones left are the Robins. 3 of them, I think, and they're all in Outlook Town.
Okay. I'll have to go ahead and that's logged away. Do you have their names?
The only one I
Or-
remember the name of is Mora, and he's currently in custody in Cliff Temple.
Very well. Perhaps one of my compatriots will probably know more about them. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we may be able to help with the issue happening here. Until I know more information, I won't be able to say for sure, though.
If you ever see that bastard Mora, please punch him for me.
A disagreement, I take it, at one point?
He's the
I
bastard.
imagine.
He's the
Go ahead.
bastard who killed Lacey.
I see. Yes, that is not good. I can imagine that. I can imagine why you'd feel that way in that case. My sympathies to their family. If they're still present, of course.
He just raises an eyebrow at you for a moment, and then looks down at his books.
Thank you. I go ahead and look for Remus.
You see Remus walking around aimlessly through the windows outside.
I go ahead.
Oh no, I thought he came
and-
inside with us.
No, you all vanished. You couldn't figure out where you are.
I go ahead and move to
I
collect
thought
him.
he was with us. Oh no, I am so sorry.
Too late, you're
The
done
siren
run-
call of alcohol.
My fucking god.
Indeed, a siren's call for you, and
Look, I'm a fucking satyr. What do you want from me?
Vagina.
What?
Vagina.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, moonshine. That's not what I thought you said.
It probably wasn't what he said.
I said vagina.
Oh, no, that's what I thought you said. But did I say it again? I thought, oh, he said moonshine. Please let him know it said moonshine. Thanks, I hate it.
Remember, satyrs are horny goats.
Yeah, but usually.
So, what is Thackeray doing?
I am going ahead and collecting Rowan, basically.
You're collecting Rowan.
Remus.
Not Rowan, Remus. What the, this is going to be a running gag, isn't it?
I mean,
It's gonna be an accidental one. We're not doing it on purpose.
I don't think Rowan would take kindly to being collected.
Nah, I'm not going for Rowan.
Or
Rowan,
Romus.
I choose you.
Hey,
I thought-
Romus, let's go bowling.
I thought it was
Romus.
Remus.
That's the correct
Romas.
Rowan. Remus. Romans.
Romas.
God damn it! Now I can think. Now I can only. All I can think of is like Remus and Rowan having like phones, and then like Remus would or God. Yeah, Remus. Remus would call up Rowan.
This is
like,
a bad
hey,
choice, T-Fox,
hey,
for that
cousin,
name.
you want to get? Yeah, hey cousin, let's go bowling.
Hey, cousin, do you want to go bowling?
Wow, T.
Something's on T's mind.
Thirsty bitch.
Oh God, I think I'm pretty much the only one tonight, aside from Kib, that has not called Remus
But no,
Rowan.
I've done. I've
Oh.
done it. I did it.
Oh.
I think technically I was the first one to
Oh.
do it tonight.
Well, sweet. I'm the one that hasn't done it yet.
No, that attitude.
We're gonna keep
Give it time.
We're gonna keep it.
Oh
that way.
no, it's back.
Scram! Anyway, I go ahead and go to Remus and say, hey, I believe I may have found us a bit of a lead.
Oh, there you are.
I'm sorry, we got a bit distracted very quickly.
I was scared that you'd all ran into the building, and I was trying to work up my courage to go in after you.
I'm glad I caught you then. Key thing here is, so evidently there was a murder. There was a murder here when one of the performers went a little insane. I forgot their name already, but I go ahead and relay the name of the person who committed the murder and said, apparently he's committed at the temple. Do you know about this individual?
No.
Were you given a case file
I'm.
for this particular request?
My branch isn't in charge of investigating homicides.
Yeah, but when you were sent here, you should have.
Hello.
No, I was just sent to come here. I think they were trying to keep me busy, or
Just because they want to keep you busy doesn't mean they should be inefficient in how they choose to get things around the island resolved. That is definitely something that I would have words with those in charge about. That said, though, I go ahead and basically relay all the information I've collected to Remus. Do you make anything of this?
I'm afraid I don't know much about. Well, I don't know what this would be. The spirit, of some kind.
Likely, it could be a vengeful spirit, but evidently the hauntings predate this incident. According to the proprietor of the inn, at least.
Well,
Now, that said, we may be able to find more history of it from the individuals listed.
Normally they'd send somebody from the Order of the Rabbit to investigate this,
Ow.
but they sent.
Well, here's the thing. Evidently, I think that we need to take these duties upon ourselves because we wouldn't want to rush into this job half-assed. To say the very least. Personally, I'm a little bit interested in finding out more of the history of this place. Not only could it be conducive to our interests in getting in and getting out without much of a problem, and successfully dealing with the issue, I get the feeling that the history of this could probably actually turn out to be a rather good performing piece. So I'm inclined to learn the history, and I believe that that could actually benefit us all.
So, honestly, I've lost a lot of my privileges to information, and I'm
Well,
not entirely sure why they sent me.
here's the thought. We don't necessarily need their privileges for information, since we're not even near the archives anyway. Unless there's a local archive by the temple. Is there?
There's a library, but it's probably not run by the temple.
Very well. That should be one of our stops as well. Are there any people who would know history about the town? Perhaps the mayor or secretary?
I think the best person to talk to would probably be the town historian.
We should go ahead and add them to our list as well.
Any libraries would be closed at this hour, so
Indeed. So tomorrow. That said, we can probably secure room and board here at the inn.
yes, for me it will be free, but for you, I unfortunately won't be able to buy you any stay.
That's fine. I don't exactly need any sort of stay. I don't sleep like you all, in case you haven't already noticed.
So, is Rowan's amongst everyone right now, right?
Well, you're
Yeah.
amongst me and Kib.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're separate right now.
They're
Yeah.
outside of the building.
Yeah.
Got. Yeah.
Now,
Oh, man.
obviously, I know T's not going to spoil anything, but this is just from what I'm gathering, but I feel like the high priest was attempting to get Remus killed.
To get rid of a problem.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's definitely the way the story is going.
It definitely feels that way. Because if it wasn't for us, he'd be doing this on his own.
Just a recommendation. That might be better for after talks.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Well,
Like, truthfully, my character probably already came up to that conclusion or something similar, because if they actually cared about the investigation, they would have, and the successful resolution of it, they would have sent whoever they did far better equipped.
And probably not just one person. But yeah, well, we don't know. We only know what we've heard so far. We've been eating, so we haven't heard a lot.
So the sun is fully down now, and Remus moves to go inside the building.
All right. I go ahead and basically sit down at a table and basically just start basically out of the way where there's not too much traffic, so I won't take up any space that others would want.
Okay, so pretty soon, Rowan and Kib and it was Rowan and Kib and Spring all get brought out meals. It seems like all of you get brought out a bowl of soup. Rowan and Spring's soup are the same.
Wait,
But
why?
because we
it's
both
not like
ordered
you're sharing
venison.
it, but it's the same.
Oh, right.
It's like it seems like your typical kind of like a beef stew, but not quite so thick.
Gotcha.
And
Thick.
Kib gets brought out a big bowl of vegetable soup.
Gotcha.
Yay!
And then you all get a bottle, which is, I'd say, about the size of a champagne bottle, but it's actually red. That just says highbrow on it. And each of you gets one of these bottles.
So now Kib has two of them.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm
Cosmitos.
just watching the inn and occasionally glancing back over through the window across the street, if there is indeed a window.
Spring just casually slides his bottle over to Rowan.
He glances at Spring, raising an eyebrow.
What?
Yeah. You not a drinking man?
No. I prefer water.
I'm assuming Remus is visible inside now.
Yeah.
Kib will wave at. Well, he probably won't be. Depending on how tall the chairs are, might be visible. He'll try to
They'll-
wave, but get Remus's attention.
They'll
Shoot
just see
from
the
window.
hand shaking. They won't see you at all. They'll just see your hand waving.
Probably, yeah.
And comes over and sits down with his big book clutched to his chest still.
So they have actual good alcohol. It's so much better than what we've got back in Wayworn. Oh my god, that stuff is horrible.
I never understood how the locals or how the others could stomach that shit.
Rowan basically
Ugh.
grabs the extra one that Spring gave him and slides it over to Kib. He's like, "Knock yourself out."
Kib claps happily.
Yeah,
You are
he basically gives him that extra one, and then almost as if it's like he, like, if you blinked or looked away for a couple seconds, 1 second his bottle was full, and then the next it's gone, and he just sets it down.
the fuck did you even taste it?
There's not much to taste with alcohol. It's all basically the same with small different varieties.
Oh,
So,
that's where we differ, my friend.
You guys did all get cups, and there is a pitcher of water on the table. But of course, if Kib pours out some of this highbrow stuff, it compared to Scuzzbrow, quite conspicuously does not have a layer of scum on the top of it.
Oh, good.
Ew.
I think part of it was also Rowan is just a little he's a little still
More into the
recovering
being
from the
drunk.
Scuzzbrown.
Yeah, he's a little gun shy of the
I'm
booze.
just imagining a meme of just Rowan, like Mr. Incredible's, just saying, "Beer is beer."
Yeah, I mean probably.
Spring just grabs the pitcher of water, pours some into a cup, and drinks it, and starts eating his food.
A very real personal opinion for me is beer is all the same to me. Actual alcohol like spirits is different.
Yeah, this is like Scuzzbrow versus the highbrow.
It's Pabst Blue Ribbon versus something
Bud
like like an IPA or
Versus
something.
Guinness.
It's Bud Light versus Heineken.
There you go.
Let's go Busch Light.
Butch Light.
Busch Light.
We have a
Bush.
very cheap beer in Canada called Lucky. And we
Lucky.
make jokes about how if the apocalypse ever comes, Lucky beer will become the new currency because we're pretty sure that stuff can't go off.
Wow.
It's that bad.
It is that bad. It is our equivalent of Scuzzbrow.
Wow.
And people probably willingly drink it too.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like Pabst.
Well, it
And-
is now past 10 o'clock. What are we doing?
alongside of generally just like finishing his drink, it seems like Rowan is not one for wasting much time on like small things, and he like you see like in a couple scoops and gulps he's basically done with his soup as well, and he sort of just pushes it off into the center of the table and is like, not a bad meal, definitely filling, but
After that, they do bring you more stuff. They bring you what looks like some really, really nice bread and some kind of dip.
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
And then after that, they bring the meat. Except for Kib, who gets a big plate of roasted vegetables.
Kib is happy.
Oh,
The
And
meat.
The rest of the night seems to be uneventful if you choose not to do anything specific.
Yeah, basically. I think for the
Yeah.
most part, Rowan was tired from traveling all the way to where they were, and then continuing to travel to another spot. Rowan did a lot of traveling today. A lot.
Rowan is done.
Rowan's like, it's like when you've sat in a car for like what seems like 8 or 9 hours, and
Uh-oh.
T's cutting in and out. It's fine. But
Yeah. Serious.
basically it's like being in a car for like 8 or 9 hours, and then you're just like you're ready to get out, and just like once you're out, you're just like dead tired. You're like, oh god,
oh
help.
yeah,
Yep, I know that
know that.
feel.
I know that feel. That was my trip. That was my trip from Ohio to fucking Florida for my sister's wedding. Oh my god,
Ooh.
we did that. We did that all in one fucking run. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
For me, that was my trip from Phoenix to Anaheim.
Although it did end. Although that trip practically did end. Well, it abruptly ended with us being in a car accident. So that was fun.
Oof.
Oh, that's always
But
fun, yeah.
yeah, essentially that's where Rowan is right now. Very, very tired, very, very tired, very tired.
Yeah, Kib will have finished his meal and all 3 of his bottles. And, he'll have probably passed out at the table or halfway to his room.
Oh my fucking.
Of which Rowan would have picked him up at that point.
No. We're gonna let Spring do it because I want to yeet him again.
Oh, no.
I would definitely have Rowan at least offer to help.
Are you going to help me yeet him?
He would help you get them to the point of eating.
I approve of this.
Roll an athletics check with advantage.
Ah!
Yes. Ah, yes.
He will not he's not participating in the eating, he's getting them to the eating.
Still, you are helping with the eating, technically, by getting him there.
Yes, with advantage.
I've reserved his strength for the eating, is what you're
I
saying.
hate it.
Yes.
Okay, so you manage to pick up Kib by the back of his shirt and by his belt. And you swing him back and forth. And somehow, you manage to fling him toward the top of the stairs. He doesn't quite make it to the top of the stairs, but at the exact same time, you see Billiam moving a mattress, and he starts walking to the stairs, and you see he drops and he goes, shit! As the mattress starts to fall down the stairs, and Kib softly lands on a mattress that slowly boom, 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 comes down the stairs like a sled and hits
Jesus.
Spring in the shins.
What the? What the?
Karma, bitch! Kib actually does wake up, go, Karma! And falls back to sleep.
What the hell? That was an 18. That was an 18. That nothing bad should have happened to me.
18 doesn't say that nothing bad happens. 18 says that the best possible outcome happens, methinks.
Anyways.
And the best possible outcome was you not smiting your teammate's face into some stairs.
I mean, that's a very fair point.
Lamb.
At least he would have got stuck again. Or at least I'm trying to happen what happened when we were in the dream sequence. That's what I'm attempting again.
For the record,
Oh, goodness.
Kib is basically hugging one of the empty bottles like a teddy bear right now because it was the best alcohol he's had since he's been here.
Okay. I'm gonna say that you guys probably eventually get Kiv up to his bed.
Yeah, I as I said, after the shenanigans, the bear would probably help with getting them actually to bed.
I basically wave at them as they head up and continue just watching everything.
I would like to wrap up here with you guys going to bed. Imagining Thackeray was probably asked to either pay for a room or leave, though.
Actually,
I probably
would
did.
would it be alright for just Thackeray if I just agree to have Thackeray kind of like keep watch as I sleep? Just
Yeah.
okay.
Fair enough.
Eh,
Lamb.
It's that way he gets kind of like a free board, and Spring
Not
just
like I need a bed.
well, right, but Spring also
Technically,
feels a little on edge.
technically, you do need to rest, though.
Yeah.
You just are
In a
half
different.
aware when you're doing it. You basically daydream, and you
Yeah,
can,
it's in a different way.
yeah. You basically space out, but you don't actually fall asleep.
He
I have
dreams
used
of
any
electric
window
sheep.
to generally watch the building across the way if possible.
Yeah.
You notice that after dark, you can see a candlelight through one of the windows.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm going to go ahead and make note of which
Ooh.
window that is for later.
It's at the very top of the building.
Okay. So like a cupola or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, Spring just detaches his weapons, and his armor, sets them off to the side where he's just in kind of like his like regular kind of attire, and gently passes out.
My
And that's the
lamb.
session, with everybody going to bed.
Lepus.
All right.
Yay.
Decent shorter session, honestly.
All right, so
Oh,
I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. All
I
right.
want to thank everybody for showing up, and I would like to thank Bit Symphony for the music that we use, even if we didn't use it this session. I would like to thank Yuki Deer for the beautiful overlay. I'd like to thank Kaz for the beautiful work with streaming this. I'd like to thank Remy for being fresh and being, in some ways, the glue that holds this beautiful little project together. I'd like to thank Lorgans for being a fabulous floofer with a sense for drama.
a sense for drama.
And I'd like to thank King Trash Panda for putting up with all of our bullying.
Yee. It's fine. I know it means y'all love me. And if it doesn't, I'm just gonna say it does anyway.
It's okay. It's okay, KTP. If you ever get a little butthurt, all we need is another cleanse.
Oh wow! I thought this was gonna be an emotional moment, but no, it was just more bully. I got my hopes up, and I was betrayed.
Remy, that was
Wow.
a one crime.
Anyways,
Wow.
I honestly, KTP, I do appreciate you though.
I know. I appreciate y'all too. Mostly.
It's okay, KTP. There will be more yeeting of the kib.
I would not have it any other way.
Kib should
Alright.
be yeeted.
Thank y'all for
Short people
the good
must be
session, and hopefully I will not be hopefully I will not have any more issues with not being here, but I won't make promises. I'm gonna do my very best though to maintain attendance and do my best to be around.
All good.
And I'm just gonna say this from a perspective, from the producer's point of view. Real life happens. Things happen. We can't always be here, and that's understandable. One thing for all of us to remember is real life takes precedence over everything we do here. So if
exactly.
you are not in a mental state that you want to be with the game, feel free to take the day off. It'll be it'll be, or well, take the session off, it'll be fine, because your mental and physical well-being are more important than this game.
Right. Not then that's not saying I'm definitely enjoying this game, but yeah, mental well-being does take precedence over everything for me.
Indeed, Scram.
One thing to note to everyone here is VODs or the sessions are always saved via my Twitch. So if you ever want to go back and see what you may have missed out on, and Remy, Remy, this is definitely important to you. So if you ever need to take a day off, I'm gonna start keeping the streams kind of like all together, and then I'm just gonna highlight the D&D session. And this goes for KTP and Lorgans as well. So in case you guys aren't here, I will directly DM you the highlights so that way you can watch it, see what happened, and that way the next session we're not having to recap everything. You'll know exactly what happened, and we can just pick up from there.
Okay.
Yeet.
Nice.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, I do appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll discuss any other things that need discussing as time goes on. We're constantly trying to evolve this, and depending, even though Seer is taking a hiatus, they are going, according to T, they are going to be welcome back, and
I'm not sure if or when they'll be rejoining. Schedules are currently in conflict.
yeah.
Um,
But we
but
are
if
currently
they-
on the look.
if they're able and wishing to come back, they are definitely welcome.
Yeah, and even then, we're probably still going to wind up looking potentially for.
Even if we get somebody, even if we get another person into the group, that won't preclude Seer from coming back. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why that is why I have kept Seer within the party, or that is why Tech is still in all the reels and everything, because he is still an honorary part of our party, and he will be staying there for the foreseeable future.
Unless, and probably until it is either confirmed or denied that they will be rejoined.
Yes. I also want to thank all of you guys, our wonderful viewers, for coming by and enjoying the sessions with us week after week. With what I'm understanding with how T has been kind of redoing the campaign to kind of help us have a more cohesive storyline to where we can all be involved in our own way. And so there will probably be sessions where we do not have a lot of combat, such as the last two sessions we've had, where it will be more story focused. And then we will also potentially have a lot of combat heavy sessions as well, as the story and our lovely, wonderful DM dictates.
Yeah.
And the monsters try to hug Spring.
Okay, I'm gonna be entirely honest.
Everybody loves Spring.
As much as I want to stick around, my back is actually killing me, and I do want to lay down and just stretch it out.
That's
All
fine,
good.
Remy. This
Oh yeah, no, hon, you go ahead.
yeah, we're pretty much done. I was just saying my ending spiel from my end. The stream is not gonna go down. The stream itself is not actually ending. I'm just going to send us back over to the actual Shepiden gaming side of the stream once again. The ending screen is just for the episode.
Yeah, for the wild adventures.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
All right.